Now we have completed while completed, nested while completed. Now we are going to start for loop. Okay, yes. So the concept name is what? For loop. The concept name is for loop. First we will see the syntax of the for. After that we will see some analysis here. See here. For requires 3 parts. For requires how many parts? 3 parts. First is initialization. Next is what? Semicolon. Next is condition. Next is reinitialization. Okay. And this is for body. Okay. Now understand, the flow of the program is always from top to bottom. So first I am coming from top. Initialization. After initialization I need to come to condition. If the condition is true, now I need to enter the for body. Whenever I reach here, come to reinitialization. After reinitialization, condition. Condition true, for body. If I reach here, come here. From here again come here. False, come here. So I hope very clear about the syntax. Understand? First initialization, condition true, for body. After for body only reinitialization. After reinitialization only condition. For loop requires 3 parts: initialization, condition, reinitialization. Very important point. Now 2 important things you need to understand. Initialization is executed first time and only one time, and we are coming to reinitialization part only once I reach end of the for body. That is very important point you need to understand. After the condition we are coming inside. Understand, very important. When the condition is false, we are directly coming here. Okay, fine. Now another important point we are telling, in the for, initialization, condition, reinitialization is optional. In the for, initialization, condition, reinitialization is optional, but 2 semicolons are mandatory. 2 semicolons are mandatory. Very important point. Whenever you are not giving condition here, by default your compiler will consider it as true. By default your compiler will consider it as true. If this is true, this loop is called what loop? Infinite loop. This loop is called what loop? Infinite loop. Understand? Again I am telling, in the for, initialization, condition, reinitialization is optional. Okay, and 2 semicolons are mandatory. If you don't provide any condition, then that is called true, and this loop is called infinite loop. This type of questions are coming in the multiple choice questions, so you need to remember this. Okay, fine. Now we are going to solve some examples using this. Try to understand. Okay, let me solve some examples for you. Void main int I for I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 5, I is equal to I plus 1, printf percentile d comma I. Okay, now we'll see the same story. Initially the value of I will be garbage. Now the value of I is how much? 1. Initialization. After initialization, next is what? Condition. Means come to condition. Now tell 1 less than or equal to 5, true or false? True. Come inside, print what value? 1. Whenever I reach here, means what is completed for now? Body is completed. Whenever I reach end of the for body, come here, I is equal to I plus 1, I value will be 2. Means this is the 4th part. Now 2 less than or equal to 5, true, print 2. Going on 3, 4, 5. Next 5 plus 1, it will become what? 6. 6 less than or equal to 5, false, come out, correct? So that is how the flow of the for loop will execute. Now we will try to solve one more problem here. See here. Void main. Let us take 2 variables, int a comma b. For a is equal to 1, b is equal to 10, a less than or equal to b, a is equal to a plus 1 comma b is equal to b minus 1. Printf percentile d backslash n a comma b. Next printf percentile d backslash n a plus 10 comma b plus 10. We'll try to solve this program. Always first you need to understand for loop needs three parts: initialization, condition, reinitialization. Now listen carefully. Open bracket to first semicolon is called initialization. First semicolon to second semicolon is called condition. Second semicolon to close bracket is called reinitialization. Okay, open bracket to semicolon initialization, first semicolon to second semicolon condition, second semicolon to close bracket is reinitialization. Very important that is. Now by seeing this example, one conclusion I am going to derive: in the initialization you can initialize more than one variable. In the reinitialization, you can reinitialize more than one variable by using comma operator. By using comma, not operator, by using comma anyway. Okay, fell. And condition you should write only one. Don't try to write two conditions because it's not meaningful, right? Now, initially first A value. What is the value of A? 1 and B 10. Initialization completed. After initialization, next I need to come to what? Reinitialization. What is reinitialization? 1 less than or equal to 10. 1 less than or equal to 10, true or false? True. True means what should I do? Print 1 and 10. Completed. End of the for body. Come to reinitialization. It is 2. This is what? 9. So what is printed? 2 and 9 also printed. Next what happens? 3, 8. Condition true. So print 3, 8. Next what happens? 4 and 7. Condition true. Print what? 4 and 7. Right? Now what happens? 4 is incremented to 5. This is little important. 5 is decremented to 6. True. So print what? 5, 6. Okay. Now listen carefully. 5 plus 1, 6, 5. 6 less than or equal to 5 is false. 6 less than or equal to 5 false. When this false, you need to come out. Very important. 6 plus 10 will print 16. 5 plus 10 will print 15. Understand? Very important. 5 less than 6 true. That is the reason I printed 5 and 6. After printing 5 and 6, A value is incremented to 6, B value is decremented to 5. 6 less than or equal to 5 false. That is the reason I came out to 6 plus 10 16, 5 plus 10 15. Now we'll try to solve one more problem here. Okay, see here. Void main int A for, okay, let us write like this: A is equal to 1 for printf A less than or equal to 3, printf B, printf C, A is equal to A plus 1. Better take this program and try to solve it on your own. Anyway, I am going to solve, but always I recommend you do what? Take the program into your notes, pause the video and do it. It's a good practice. If I do, I will get. If you do, you will get, right? Now, first step, the question is it possible to write printf in the initialization? Yes. Is it possible to write printf in the reinitialization? Yes. There is no limitation at all. You can write printf happily, no problem at all. Now, what is the value of A? 1. First initialization only print A, nothing to do with that. 1 less than or equal to 3 true, come inside, print what? C. Understand? After condition, always you need to come to for body. A is equal to A plus 1, A value will be how much? 2. Whenever I reach here, come here, print what? B. 2 less than or equal to 3, true, print what? C. 2 plus 1, 3, print what? B. 3 less than or equal to 3, true, print what? C. 3 plus 1, 4, first come here anyhow, print what? B, and 4 less than or equal to 3, false, come out. So, what is the intention of this program? In the initialization, I can write printf scanf. In the reinitialization also, I can write printf and scanf. Okay, I hope this is very clear. Well, we'll try to solve some more problems so that you will be very familiar with for. Let us take another example. Void main and int A comma B for A is equal to B is equal to 1, A, B is equal to B minus 1, and B, what we can tell, is equal to A less than or equal to 3, printf percentile D backslash n A comma B and printf percentile D backslash n a plus 10 comma b plus 10. Okay, fine. Now we'll try to find the output. Okay, already this type of problem we did it in the while. Do you can remember? Anyhow, I am going to solve, but you better pause the video and take the output, right? First step, initialization. Always initialization. What is the value of a? 1. B 1. Okay. Now for a is what? Non-zero. Non-zero means true. True means enter. 1 less than or equal to 3, true. True means always replace with 1, assign to b. Okay, instead of this, let me write this way now, so that here I do it. Okay, let me change the problem. A is equal to b less than or equal to 3. Small changes only did. What is the value of a? 1, true, come inside. 1 less than or equal to 3, true. The value of a is updated to 1. Okay, fine. Now print the value of a and b. 1, 1. End of the loop, come here. B is equal to b plus 1, b value will be 2. A value is still 1, come inside. 2 less than or equal to 3, true. A value 1, print what? 1, 2. End of the loop, come here. B is equal to b plus 1, b value is 3. A value is 1, come here. 3 less than or equal to 3, true. True means a value is how much? 1. Next what? Print 1, 3. End of the loop, come here. 3 plus 1, 4. A value is 1, come inside. 4 less than or equal to 3, how much? False. See, this is not the loop condition. Don't come out. Just update the value of a. Next statement, print 0 and 4. End of the loop, come here. B is equal to b plus 1, b value is 5 and a value is 0. 0 means what? False. Come out and print 0 plus 10, 10, 5 plus 10, 15. This is what the output is about. Okay. I hope we are very clear on the program. If not, you just revise and get the answer. Next, let us talk another problem. This is one of the important interview question here. For a is equal to 1, a less than or equal to 5, a is equal to a plus 1, printf percentile d comma a. Well, so by seeing the program, most of the people are thinking answer is error, or answer is 1, or answer is no output, like that. First you need to understand, whenever we are not providing body for the for, up to where body is there, first semicolon. Who is telling like that? Compiler. So here, did I provide any body for the for? No. Up to where body is there, first semicolon. Who is considering like that? Compiler. Remember that. So internally, how this piece of code is converted as for a is equal to 1, a less than or equal to 5, a is equal to a plus 1, open the body, semicolon, and printf is outside. Right? This is the code we have, right? Now see, first step, what is the value of a? 1. 1 less than or equal to 5, true. 2, true. 5, true. 6. 6 less than or equal to 5, false. That is the reason what is the answer? 6. So if you terminate semicolon after the for, any error or no error? No error. Why? Because body is up to first semicolon. Now tell, only semicolon valid or not valid? Valid. Only semicolon is called delay. Is that point clear for everyone? Yes. Now I'll give you one example. You take that example and try to get the output in here. Okay. Yes. See here. Let me write it here. Void main for semicolon semicolon printf hello. And let me give you one more example. Void main, might be this is also a little tricky to understand. While printf hello. See, so many examples we are discussing. Just practice and remember. That's very important, right? Now, and I told you, whenever you are not providing any condition in the for, by default compiler will consider as what? True. That is the reason here hello is printed how many times? Infinite times. Have you noticed? Did it ever tell you in the case of while condition is optional? No. In the case of while condition is compulsory. In the case of while condition is compulsory. So if you don't provide any condition, we are going to get compilation error as expression syntax. What is the error we are going to get? Expression syntax. Now little interesting program we are going to discuss. Try to understand. This is little interesting. Just focus here. Very important. Void main. Let us take int a. For a is equal to 1, a less than or equal to 5 if a greater than or equal to 3, printf hello. Okay, and I'll write here printf percentile d comma 1. What I wrote here, printf percentile d comma 1. Later on I'll write a is equal to a plus 1. A is equal to a plus 1, right? Now pause the video, get the output. Anyhow, little interestingly we are going to get the output. Yes. First step, initialization. What is the value of a? 1. 1 less than or equal to 5, true. So let me put here, So print what value? A. What is the value of a? 1. A is equal to a plus 1. A value will be how much? 2. End of the loop. Come here. 2 greater than or equal to 3 false. So come here. Printf is not printed. 2 less than or equal to 5 true. Again print what? 2. 2 plus 1? 3. End of the loop. 3 greater than or equal to 3 true. Now only you printed hello. Might be some people are trying to think hello is printed after 3. But after 2, 2 plus 1, 3. 3 greater than or equal to 3. Hello printed. Now 3 less than or equal to 5 true. So print what? 3. 3 plus 1, 4. 4 greater than or equal to 3 true. So print what? Hello. 4 less than or equal to 5 true. Print what? 4. And 4 plus 1, 5. 5 greater than or equal to 3 true. So print what? Hello. 4 less than or equal to 5 true. So print what? 5. 5. 5 plus 1, 6. 6 greater than or equal to 3 true. So print what? Hello. And 6 less than or equal to 5 false. Some people would have got this output if I am not wrong, right? We'll see. Can you please remember the syntax of for? What is for? For initialization, condition, reinitialization. And this is for body. So most of the textbooks will write here increment or decrement factor. Increment or decrement factor also you can write, not a problem. And reinitialization also you can write. So try to understand. This syntax is not provided in the Dennis Ritchie textbook. There is a standard textbook. You need to read the textbook only, and we are referring from there. The syntax itself is not valid syntax. Okay. The valid syntax is for statement 1. Either you can call as a statement 1 or expression 1. Next statement 2. You can call as expression 2. Next statement 3 or expression 3. This is the valid syntax given by Dennis Ritchie. Statement 1 recommended initialization. Statement 2 recommended condition. Statement 3 recommended reinitialization. That's all. See, printf is a statement. Yes. A is equal to 1. Yes. A is equal to a plus 1. Yes. A less than or equal to 5. Yes. But if a greater than or equal to 3, is this a statement or this is not a statement? If a greater than or equal to 3 is not a statement, it is a conditional construct. That is the reason this answer is wrong. We are going to get compilation error as expression syntax. Why? Because as a part of for, we should write here statement, but we wrote something which is not a statement. If one needs one statement, this is valid. I am talking about only this. This is not valid. So this is the correct syntax of the for. Do we need to learn while? That is the first question I have. While is faster or for is faster? Oh, might be some people are thinking for is a 3-letter keyword, so smaller, and while is a 5-letter keyword, might be bigger, slower, or while will start with W in the alphabetical order. F is first, W is last, so for is faster and while is slower. Some conclusions, don't create your own conclusions, right? Well, so now the question is, when should I use while? When should I use for? I'll just tell you the concept. You need to understand, right? Listen carefully. If we know number of iterations in advance, then we need to use for loop. If we don't know number of iterations in advance, then we need to use a while loop. Very important point. Again, I'm telling. If we know number of iterations in advance, then use what? For loop. If you don't know number of iterations in advance, then use what? While loop. I'll give you one question. Try to understand. A is equal to 1 while a less than or equal to 5. This loop repeated how many times? Not 5 times. Understand? This loop not repeated 5 times, infinite times. Some 100 lines of code is here. Here only I am writing a is equal to a plus 1. Now, this loop repeated how many times? 5 times. When will you know? After coming here, then only I will come to know loop repeated 5 times. Initially you don't know. Same piece of code only I am going to write. For a is equal to 1, a less than or equal to 5, a is equal to a plus 1. Here also you are having same 100 lines. Have you seen, before entering into the loop, I am able to decide loop repeated how many times. You understand my point, right? If we know number of iterations in advance, means by seeing the first line only, I am able to know loop repeated how many times. Now, might be if you know this, okay. If you don't know, now I am introducing two important terminology for you. One is array, another is a linked list, which we are going to discuss in the upcoming videos. Arrays. Number of elements in the arrays are fixed, means size is known in advance. Linked list. Number of elements in the linked list are not fixed, means size is not known in advance. So to process an array, we recommend to use what loop? For loop. Why? We know the size. To process the linked list, we recommend to use what? While loop. Why? We don't know the size. While means until I reach some place. When I will reach that place, I don't know, right? So that is the reason. If you don't know number of iterations in advance, use while loop. If you know number of iterations in advance, use for loop. So understand, very important point I am telling. See, some people are having some stupid thing. Sir, whatever the job I did with for, can I do with while? Yes. Whatever the job I did with while, can I do with for? Yes. But that's not the way we should do the recommendation. Now I'll give you one real example. Let us take, I went to one shopping mall. I bought one shirt and jeans for me. The cost of the shirt and jeans is around 3,500 or might be 4,000. Now I want to pay 3,000 or 4,000 to him, right? What I am doing is I am taking one bag and I am giving to him. He opened the bag. As soon as he opened the bag, he saw 4,001 rupee coins. Will he take or he will not take? He will take, but he will give us left and right like anything. Why? Because 4,001 rupee coins are not recommended. Oh, I thought that, okay, whenever I go to shop, I should not give 1 rupee coin. I mentally fixed. Next day, I went to small fruit shop to buy one banana for me. The cost of the banana is 4 rupees. So yesterday I know, right, 1 rupee I should not use. I am giving him, that person, 2,000 rupees note or some credit card or check. So there 2,000 rupees note is not recommended. Understand? Very important point. So everywhere you cannot use 2,000 rupees note. Everywhere you cannot use 1 rupee coin. You need to know the application scenario.